Well, Donald Trump will address a joint session of Congress at 9 o'clock tonight, and the U.S. president will be speaking about the tariffs imposed against Canada and Mexico. We are joined now by CTV's chief political correspondent, Vassy Kapelos. So much to unpack from today, but maybe we can start with this. A member of Trump's team late today, the U.S. Commerce Secretary, suggested maybe the Trump administration could announce a pathway for tariff relief on Mexican and Canadian goods as soon as tomorrow. What do we make of that?
Yeah, a bit confounding. It was Howard Lutnick, Trump's Commerce Secretary, Patricia, on Fox News, just, I believe, in the 4 o'clock hour, making that pronouncement, floating the prospect that there could be an announcement made tomorrow to roll back, was the word that he used, or meet in the middle with Canada and Mexico on the issue of tariffs. He described it as not a full pause or removal of them, but some sort of, again, meeting in the middle. I had the opportunity almost momentarily after that comment was made to put it to our Foreign Affairs Minister, Melanie Joly, here in studio with me, and asked, do you put any stock into that? Have you had any communication from the Trump administration to that effect? She is going to have a call tomorrow at noon, she said, with her counterpart, Secretary of State Marco Rubio. But otherwise, there has been no official communication. She was pretty explicit that, in fact, in advance of the imposition of those tariffs at midnight overnight, there was nothing from the White House to the federal government saying explicitly that that would be the case. And so, if I were to interpret what she was saying, it was that she was not putting any great stock into the comments from Howard Lutnick. So we're just going to have to see how that unfolds.
It's been a very difficult guessing game to play what Trump's next move might be or what he might say. But looking ahead to this speech tonight, coming off the day that we've had with Canadian politicians speaking out so strongly against those tariffs, what do you anticipate that Trump might sort of drill down on this evening when it comes to Canada?
Well, a couple of things. I think my anticipation is that he talks more about the utility, in his view, of those tariffs, the way in which he wants to see them used, and in particular, the outcome he would like to see achieved. Now, does that mean, for example, as he posted on social media hours ago, that there could be more tariffs, that the tariffs the counter tariffs that Canada is levying could result in higher tariffs that Donald Trump imposes? Could he broach the prospect of that? I think anything is possible. But as far as the content more generally of what I expect, I think it is in the vein of, here's my justification for doing this. And if we listen to his comments in the last 24 hours, they have morphed from it's about the border or it's about raising revenue or just tariffs are a beautiful thing to, basically, I want the auto sector to pick up from Canada and move to the United States. So that is a very specific goal that he wants to achieve, one that he is finally being explicit about. I anticipate there will be more talk about growing American manufacturing at the expense of other countries like ours tonight.
Strong words today, but are you tapping into a real sense of fear as well from Canadian politicians or business people as to just where this could go and how bad this could get?
It's a great question, and I spent the day interviewing people from all different sectors and politicians at all different levels of government. I almost think that today is a little bit, it sounds very odd to say, and I don't mean this facetiously, today is a bit better than the past month, only because the threat, the prospect of those tariffs and the uncertainty that surrounded what would happen if they were imposed was very damaging in and of itself, and produced an environment that was more difficult to navigate, because you couldn't say, okay, they're here, we're going to do this, right? You had to say, well, maybe we do this, and you had to prepare for a whole bunch of different possibilities when you combine just the prospect of those tariffs with the uncertainty and the unpredictability around Donald Trump. So now we know what we're up against. And the Prime Minister is very clear, and he was today, that his view is this is not about any of those other issues. It is about crushing, he said, Canada's economy in order to be able to annex this country. We've got it in black and white in front of us. Now it's up to all of us and our political leaders to figure out a game plan to counter it. But my sense is, now that this is all here, Canadians could not be more united.